2 months into my successful online relationship, I made up my mind to lose weight. Suddenly, bullet comments flashed before my eyes. What's going on? Why is the supporting female character starting to lose weight? If she really slims down, how will the female lead replace her and get together with the male lead? Don't worry, the supporting female character is actually very insecure. She'll give up after being mocked a few times by our beautiful girl, and she won't succeed at all. Am I the only one who thinks the female lead is a bit unethical, even though the supporting female character photoshopped herself to look thinner when online dating? That was indeed her own photo. The female lead lied, claiming the person in the photo was her, and even accused the supporting character of using her photo for online dating. Besides, the supporting female character has great natural features. If she really slimmed down, she'd definitely be a cool, elegant beauty. What do you know? In reality, the supporting female character is 167 centimeters tall and weighs 130 pounds, practically a fat pig. How dare she even try online dating? The male lead is a handsome, wealthy guy. Is she even worthy? I was momentarily stunned. The next second, my roommate, wearing a face mask, peeked out from behind her bed curtain, her gaze sweeping over my desk. Wow, Heroine, are you just having a vegetable salad for dinner? Then, she looked at me with a smile. I get it. You're trying to lose weight again, right? But with such a large frame, you won't look good even if you slim down. You might as well not bother. Fong Xinyu sized me up as she spoke. Her voice carried a hint of laughter, but her gaze was particularly meaningful. If it were the old me, I would have flushed red by now. I would have hidden the salad away as if I had done something wrong. I hurriedly explained that I just wanted to try it out. Not necessarily to become much prettier, actually. More than once, I felt that Fong Xinyu seemed to harbor a subtle malice toward me. She always complained about how she had lost weight again whenever I was trying to diet. When I skipped dinner, she suddenly asked me loudly during evening self-study, "Heroine, you haven't eaten anything all day." Then I sighed. Losing weight is so hard. Everyone is really amazing. But I quickly dismissed this thought. Fong Xinyu is the school belle of our university. How could she have any ill intentions toward me? Until now, I saw the bullet comments starting to laugh and joke. Ha ha ha, the female lead's mischievous side is so adorable too. Actually, the female lead deliberately didn't want the supporting female character to lose weight. At the start of the school year, even though the female lead was present, the other roommates praised the supporting female character for being cute several times. The female lead, who has always had high self-esteem since childhood, would naturally dislike her. That's just how the little cat is, proud and insecure. Even if the supporting female character, that fat pig, were to lose weight, she could never be half as beautiful as our kitty. Don't worry, our girl is applying a face mask right now and will soon dress up beautifully to meet the male lead. In the future, the male lead's love will give our girl all the security she needs, unable to resist. I clenched my fist tightly, facing Fong Xinyu's innocent gaze. For the first time, I didn't rush to explain or silently accept it. I don't know what kind of feelings I was holding on to. I pursed my lips and suddenly said, "Not necessarily. What if I look pretty good after losing weight? Let me give it a try first." The atmosphere froze for a moment. The next second, bullet comments scrolled frantically before my eyes. I went to this building to take shelter from the wind. After using a photo editing app to slim herself down by 20 pounds for an online relationship, she realized she looks a bit like our girl, and now she actually thinks she's a beauty too. Is she deliberately saying this in front of the female lead? Is this some kind of female competition? I can't take it anymore. Does every chubby girl in the world fantasize that they'll turn into a beauty once they lose weight? The barrage was filled with high emotions. It dawned on me that I was the self-conscious, overweight roommate of the campus belle in a sweet romance novel. In other words, the so-called villainess. In the story, due to my insecurity, I sent photoshopped pictures of myself, slimmed down with editing software, to my online crush. By chance, the female lead discovered that the online crush who always sent me expensive gifts was actually the campus heartthrob she had been secretly in love with for 2 years. She looked down on my actions. Yet she noticed that the photos I had edited bore some resemblance to her after she put on makeup. So, the female lead had a sudden inspiration and secretly approached the male lead in real life. She claimed that I was using her photos for online dating and that she was the girl in the pictures. She then devised several schemes, making the male lead completely believe that I was a vain, lying, overweight person who stole my roommate's photos for online dating. In the end, the male lead deleted me and started a sweet romance with the female lead. As for the original me in the story, I was completely unaware of all this, thinking only that the male lead had fallen for someone else after learning the truth, so I quietly transferred schools. I know my actions were wrong, but was Fang Sinyu's approach any more correct? My retort slipped out. Fang Sinyu, who had already turned away like a victor, suddenly paused. A flicker of doubt flashed in her eyes, but it quickly turned cold. She glanced at me with a faint, mocking smile. All right, then do your best. After that, the dorm was unusually quiet. Fang Sinyu finished applying her face mask and climbed down from her bunk to wash her face. Then she sat at the desk, opened her makeup bag, and began carefully applying makeup in front of the mirror. I quietly made a weight loss plan. While taking out the trash, I passed by Fang Sinyu's spot and suddenly froze for a moment. Since starting school, whether in real life or on social media, Fang Sinyu has always maintained a bold and sexy style, but this time, she had switched to a fresh and delicate look with light makeup. She even dug out a white dress full of student vibes from somewhere and put it on. It was almost like the photo I had sent to my online crush. After Fang Sinyu hummed a tune and left the house, I rely on information gleaned from the bullet comments to search for photos of the male lead online. Actually, he told me his name was Lu Qingyu, but I had no idea he was actually the second son of the Lu group. He keeps a low profile and rarely shows his face online. However, there is a young master from the same social circle who is quite active on social media, and Lu Qingyu made a brief appearance in one of his videos. A netizen quickly took a screenshot. Although it was blurry, the man's superior side profile and thin lips were still visible. Just then, the phone beside him rang a few times. Want to raise a tortoise? Are you there? Want to raise a tortoise? What are you doing? I miss you. Want to keep a tortoise? I sent you a gift. Remember to pick it up. See if you like it. A series of messages, still as proactive and direct as ever. After hesitating for a long time, I still decided to tell him the truth. I don't know if this will change the so-called plot, even if readers call me a scheming woman for not telling the truth sooner or later. Just when the female lead was about to meet the male lead, she spoke up, deliberately sabotaging the romantic connection between the two. I admit to all of this. I just feel unwilling to become the stepping stone that Fang Sinyu tramples underfoot. As the comment said, I sent a message to the other side. Are you free now? Let's meet up. The address is XX Cafe on Zhongshan South Road. Sitting in the cafe, looking at the chat box that still had no reply, I suddenly felt a bit uneasy. Has Lu Qingyu really seen the message? If he has, why hasn't he replied? What if he has already met the female lead? As thoughts swirled in his mind, a crisp bell rang at the door. A tall man pushed the door open and walked in. His expression was indifferent, his emotionless eyes sweeping across the room. When they landed on me, he suddenly froze for a moment, before I could even react. The next moment, he had already strode over to me, his tone somewhat uncertain as he spoke. Are you, Een? Upon hearing this, I looked up and carefully examined the man. The familiar profile lines, quite similar to those in the photo, though the lips seem a bit thinner. However, the screenshot was too blurry, so some discrepancies with reality are normal. I nodded. Are you Lu Qingyu? The man paused, pursed his lips, and pulled out the chair opposite me to sit down. Yes, I am. The man was very tall, with prominent brow bones, a high and straight nose bridge, and sharp, dark, bright eyes that carried a strong sense of pressure when he looked at people. What do you need from me? To be honest, I felt a bit nervous under his gaze. Fortunately, I had prepared myself mentally beforehand and confessed to deceiving him using photo editing software. I didn't mention Fang Sinyu first. I can't explain how I knew about her plan. Second, I think, if Lu Qingyu finds out the truth and breaks up with me, and then still falls for Fang Sinyu, then I can actually accept that. I just don't want to be used as a stepping stone and be accused of so-called using my roommate's photo for an online relationship. Anyway, that's how it is. After I finished speaking, I kept my head down, not daring to look at him. But after waiting for a long time, the shock, anger, or questioning I had anticipated, none of it happened. After a long silence, I finally couldn't hold back and looked up at him. I saw the man still staring at me blankly, his gaze never wavered. I asked in confusion, "Mr. Liu?" He finally snapped back to reality, his tone somewhat bewildered. Oh. As if to hide something, the man picked up his coffee cup. After thinking for a moment, he spoke calmly. "Are you saying you think you're fat? How could you think that? I think you're great." "Not fat at all." He looked at me again and said with certainty, "Very cute." I was completely stunned. This male lead, why does he seem different from the storyline? At that moment, the barrage of comments appears before me once again. The supporting female character is still foolishly waiting for the male lead to reply to her message, right? Actually, at this moment, the male lead is busy holding the female lead's slender waist. I'm so obsessed. The female lead is really clever. She deliberately bumps into the male lead, who is looking at his phone, and then pretends to fall. The male lead instinctively catches her in his arms, with such a warm and soft beauty in his arms. Tell me, isn't it heart-fluttering? The female lead said she was working and couldn't catch the bus back to a university, so she just ran off. This round of playing hard to get has left our male lead completely hooked. The part where the male lead takes the initiative to find the female lead is coming up soon. I'm so excited. I was stunned, realizing something. I suddenly looked at the man in front of me. "You're not Lu Qingyu." The man paused in his movements. He glanced down at his phone, and when he looked up again, the faint trace of bewilderment that had been on his face earlier had vanished. He straightened his back, his posture still relaxed, but his gaze settled calmly on my face. "It seems Lu Qingyu won't be coming today," he spoke, his voice steady as he said, "Sorry for lying to you just now. I'm Lu Qingyu's older brother, Lu Jingchuan." Lu Jingchuan explained that Lu Qingyu's online relationship had actually been discovered by their family a long time ago. In families like ours, we don't really encourage the younger generation to date freely, especially, Lu Jingchuan paused, in the form of an online relationship. "The elders at home asked me to take some time to manage things. Today, Lu Qingyu left his tablet at home, and his account was logged in on it. I saw the message you sent, so I came to check." Hearing this, I asked somewhat puzzled, "Then why didn't you say so from the beginning?" Lu Jingchuan lowered his gaze and said softly, "Sorry, I didn't realize it at first. I never expected Lu Qingyu would stand you up and not show up at all." Seeing him like this, I also felt a bit embarrassed. But thinking about how all the effort I put in today was for nothing, I couldn't help but feel a bit disheartened. I sighed helplessly. "Forget it, it's fine. Anyway, I've said everything I wanted to say. Given the situation between me and Lu Qingyu, it's not suitable to continue this relationship. I'll find an opportunity to break up with him properly." As I spoke, I picked up my bag, ready to leave. But Lu Jingchuan suddenly called out to me, "Yin." He looked straight at me, his expression calm. "Lu Qingyu is still a student, and his family is strict with him, but I'm different." I was stunned. Lu Jingchuan continued, "I've been in the company for a long time and have a certain say within the family. I can freely choose my marriage partner." As he spoke to the end, his expression remained unchanged, but his ears suddenly flushed red. "Actually, I fell in love with you at first sight. Would you consider me? I'm different from Lu Qingyu. Everyone in my family will bless us. Go back and think it over." "Okay, I'll wait for your reply." When I returned to the dormitory that evening, I was still a bit stunned. As I pushed open the door to the dormitory, Fang Xinyu was chatting with her two roommates, their laughter unceasing. Seeing me, the smile on her face grew even brighter as she said, "Yin, you're back. Let me tell you, I met an exceptionally outstanding guy today. He's incredibly handsome and comes from a very wealthy family. He seems to like me a lot too." She was still wearing the same white dress from earlier in the day, her makeup untouched, and when she smiled, she really did look quite a bit like me in that photo. Yet, I wasn't as sad as I had imagined I would be. Surprisingly calm inside, I simply replied, "That's great." Fang Xinyu stared at me intently for a long time. Finally, she confirmed that there was not a trace of envy or jealousy in my eyes. She seemed to find it uninteresting and went back to chatting with her roommate. I sat at the desk and opened my phone, seeing that half an hour ago, Lu Qingyu sent me a message. "Sorry, I was busy during the day and didn't see your message. But, are you working part-time? Don't push yourself too hard." Then transfer over 200,000. Also includes a high-definition selfie taken right in the face. The young man's face was handsome and radiant, a completely different type from his brother. Want to keep a tortoise, in case you can't recognize it. Bullet comments scrolling, hee. The male lead really thinks the female lead is his online crush, feeling sorry for her for working so hard, so he transferred a large sum of money to the supporting female character. Oh, what are you doing, male lead? You've given it to the wrong person, not the supporting female character, but the female lead. All this money belongs to the female lead. Don't rush, isn't this about setting the stage first? First, have a chance encounter with the male lead. Tomorrow, he'll take the initiative to take the female lead out for fun. The real excitement is yet to come, hee. The female lead first pretends not to know the male lead at all. Then casually, accidentally, mentions that her roommate has been asking for photos lately, not sure what for. No need to worry about these small amounts of money. Once the female lead marries into the Liu family, won't she have everything she wants? With the most capable eldest brother of the Liu family inheriting the family business, the female lead only needs to sit back and collect dividends, enjoying life with her husband. Life couldn't be more comfortable. Seeing the barrage mention the Liu family's eldest brother, I paused. The handsome face of the man from the day flashed through my mind. Somehow, my face suddenly felt a bit warm. Hastily returning the transfer, I don't lack money, and I've never worked a day in my life. You must have misunderstood. Then, without paying any more attention to the other side, I turned off my phone. Over the next few days, Fang Xinyu would dress up carefully every day before going out. She still had that innocent, delicate look, and other roommates who didn't know the truth asked her why she had suddenly changed her style. Fang Xinyu just smiled shyly. I just suddenly felt that this style suits me better. I could clearly sense it too. Lu Qingyu started to rarely reply to my messages. His attitude clearly turned cold. Before summer vacation, Lu Qingyu suddenly sent me a message. Want to raise a tortoise? Let's meet up. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. The moment the male lead truly falls in love with the female lead, he actively asks the female supporting character to meet. The chubby female supporting character didn't have the guts to meet at all and immediately refused, but our girl later tricked her into going out to meet the male lead. When the female lead and the female supporting character stood together, the contrast was just too obvious. I remember the male lead directly believed the female lead, right? He immediately said he didn't know the female supporting character and walked away with the female lead. The female supporting character was left crying alone in the restaurant, looking so pathetic. Although it was quite pitiful, it was also a little funny. I lowered my eyes and replied to him, all right, however, I'll decide the time. Let's make it after summer vacation. Lu Qingyu clearly froze for a moment. After a long pause, he replied, okay, I'll wait for you. What's going on? Why is the plot different? According to the bullet comments, I know that originally this summer, because my parents went abroad for a trip, I simply stayed at school. That's how Fang Xinyu seized the opportunity. This time, I ignored the barrage of comments. I left school early and returned home alone. I began a 2-month closed-door weight loss training program. During this period, I cut off contact with everyone. I only opened my phone once and saw that Fang Xinyu had sent me many messages. She kept asking where I was and why I had left school early. I didn't reply to any of them. I glanced at my social media feed, and everything seemed normal. The only difference was that I added Lu Jingchuan on social media that day at the cafe. He seems to really enjoy posting updates, all of them photos of his abs from different angles. Who knows who he's taking those pictures for? I rolled my eyes and turned off my phone. After summer break ended, I spent some time accompanying my parents who had returned to the country, and after a few days of fun, I went back to school. As I walked into the school, I saw the bullet comments again after a long time. The supporting female character should be returning to school soon, right? Sigh, dragging it out for so long is just because she's afraid to meet him. But now that she's here, it's too late. During the summer vacation, the female lead kept creating all kinds of coincidental encounters with the male lead, and he's already fallen for her. What if the supporting female character secretly went on a diet to lose weight? Don't make me laugh. You don't really think a fat person turning thin automatically becomes a beauty, do you? Holy crap, holy crap. Quick, switch the perspective to the supporting female character. Go check it out. A smile played at the corners of my mouth as I shifted my gaze away from the suddenly dense barrage of comments. I headed toward the dormitory. Meanwhile, in a place I hadn't noticed, a post on the campus forum was pushed to the top of the list. Title: Hot, seeking contact information for this female classmate. Willing to pay. Today 10:31. Does anyone know the girl who passed by the South Campus cafeteria around 10:20 this morning? She was wearing a white dress with a light gray cardigan over it. I was too shy to approach her at the time and only managed to take a blurry photo of her from behind. Please, I fell in love at first sight. I'm looking for her contact information and am willing to offer a generous reward. With a photo like that, even if someone knows her, they probably wouldn't recognize her. Is the girl the OP mentioned the one who walked past the South Campus cafeteria heading toward the east side of the women's dorm, long hair, carrying a Burberry backpack? Yes, that's her. Do you know her, classmate? I don't know her. I saw her this morning too. She's so stunningly beautiful that I was completely mesmerized. Are you two guys above just messing around or what? That's an exaggeration. I'm from South Dorm 3, and I think I've seen the girl you're talking about. She's from our school. I saw her filling out the return to school form on the first floor, upstairs. I saw her too. I'm also from South Dorm 3. Oh my God. She really is a fairy. Glowing fair skin, an incredibly long and slender neck, and she looks like the actress who played Little Ears. When my roommate and I went down to get takeout, we stood there stunned for 5 minutes. She had already left, and we still hadn't snapped out of it. It felt like the whole lobby was filled with her fragrance, right? Honestly, I've always thought there are a lot of pretty girls at our school. But today I finally understood what it means for there to be a wall between ordinary people and true beauties. It's just not on the same level. Wait, who exactly are you all talking about? Is this for real? I'm completely confused. How could there be someone like that at our school? No pictures, just treat it as storytelling. Come on, what's there to lie about? The person has already arrived and reported in. You'll find out when classes start in a while, if this is true. The campus bell might have to change. On the way back to the dorm, I bumped into someone. The guy was walking fast and suddenly bumped into me with considerable force. I covered my forehead and heard him click his tongue in annoyance. I instinctively apologized, only to see the person across from me suddenly freeze. I looked up and realized, to my surprise, that it was Lu Qingyu. He looked exactly like in the photo, a sunny, handsome young man with a wolfish charm, yet he stared intently at my face. His gaze filled with undisguised astonishment. He stood there dazed for a moment before snapping back to reality, a hint of confusion flickering in his eyes. I had no patience to linger here and exchange words with him. Sorry for bumping into you, classmate. I'm in a hurry, so I'll be on my way. He instinctively reached out to grab me, but I shook him off with just the right amount of force. Just as I was about to leave, I suddenly turned back and said to him with a smile, by the way, classmate, is that Riley on your phone case? I really like that character too. He was the one who carried me through my early days as a newbie, so every time I see him, I feel a sense of closeness. Without giving him any time to react, I turned and left quickly, not looking back. My first encounter with my online crush, once to raise a tortoise, was in a gaming forum post. We ended up chatting for a long time because we both loved the same game character, and eventually, we just added each other as friends. That's how the whole series of events that followed began. So, I'm certain that when I said those words, Lu Qingyu must have remembered something. Even as I reached the corner, I could feel the intense gaze from behind. Back in the dormitory, the other two roommates were stunned when they saw me. They circled around me for a long time. Oh my God, is that you, Ineen? Ah, I always said you'd be a stunning beauty once you lost weight. I could tell on the first day of school. Who could be that adorable even when they were heavier? Only Fang Xinyu's expression turned very unpleasant. She listened quietly for a while beside them. Suddenly, she spoke up. Ineen, losing weight is a good thing, but I think you might have overdone it. You're almost skin and bones now, and it looks a bit strange. The atmosphere froze. This time, none of her roommates bought her act, all giving her strange looks. Where is she skin and bones? Ineen is only about 100 pounds now. I think she looks great. Another roommate chuckled. Xinyu said just yesterday she wanted to get down to 90. You're not even as tall as Ineen, are you? Looks like you've changed your mind. Fang Sinyu's expression instantly froze. She lowered her head and fell silent, her expression unreadable. I chatted with my roommate for a while longer, I said, as if unintentionally. By the way, I'm meeting my online crush tomorrow afternoon. Fang Sinyu in the corner suddenly looked up, staring at me intently. Meet, where, after sending the message, I smiled at her, at the newly opened coffee shop next to the school. On the day we met, Lu Chengyu, dressed in a sharply tailored suit, sat in the coffee shop. When I pushed open the door, the cafe fell silent for a moment. I looked up and saw Fang Sinyu, dressed in the cafe's uniform. She was holding a cup of coffee, bending down to place it in front of Lu Chengyu. The slightly smaller work skirt accentuated her slender waistline with every movement. Fang Sinyu smiled gently and said, "Mr. Lu, this is the iced Americano I got for you." The barrage of comments went wild with excitement, flooding the screen. "So charming and skilled, the female lead is absolutely stunning me to death. The male lead must be completely stunned now. The more dazzling the female lead is to him now. The stronger the contrast will be when that pig-like female supporting character shows up later. I can't take it anymore. I don't want to see the face slapping. Can we just fast forward to the sweet romance? I want to see the male and female leads showering each other with affection." Did you guys not check out the female supporting character's perspective yesterday? What do you mean? What's so interesting about the female supporting character? Forget it. I'll just turn around and take a look. I smiled and walked forward. "Hello, want to keep a tortoise?" Lu Chengyu suddenly stood up, his gaze fixed on me like a torch. "It's you?" I smiled and sat down in the seat opposite him. "A hazelnut latte, please." After announcing the dish name, Fang Sinyu stood by the table, hesitating to leave. Her expression seemed to hold back words. Her gaze turned toward Lu Chengyu as if seeking help. Lu Chengyu gave her a complicated look and was about to say something, but I beat him to it. "What's wrong?" Fang Sinyu didn't answer. Instead, looking at Lu Chengyu, tears quickly welled up in her eyes, as if struck by a heavy blow. Her voice trembled as she said, "Mr. Lu, so you are Yin Yin's online crush." Lu Chengyu was taken aback, ignoring me in front of him, and hurriedly grabbed her. "Sinyu, let me explain." I thought. As if remembering something, he quickly glanced at me again. The barrage of comments starts urging him on. "Male lead, what are you hesitating for? Why aren't you saying anything? Hurry up and explain." "Exactly. Could it be that you've changed your mind just because the supporting female character has become prettier? You clearly liked the female lead before, right? Even though it was the supporting female character who had the online relationship with the male lead. In reality, it's the female lead who has spent so much time with him. Aren't online relationships just for fun? The male lead should truly like the female lead." I chuckled inwardly. I knew that recently, Lu Chengyu must have believed, through Fang Sinyu's words and actions, that she was the girl in the photo. He was convinced that I was a despicable thief who used my roommate's photos for an online romance. But when he saw me today, he was confused again, although not 100% identical. But compared to Fang Sinyu, the slimmer me clearly bears a greater resemblance to that AI-generated photo, and also, more beautiful. Lu Chengyu stopped the words he was about to say, his eyes filled with confusion. Fang Sinyu, seeing this, bit her lower lip hard, then she turned to look at me innocently. "Yin, I'm sorry I didn't tell you I work at this shop, but you might not know. Actually, Mr. Lu and I smiled and interrupted her. "Sinyu, those things aren't important. Since you're a service staff here, could you please focus on your work first? I'd like a hazelnut latte, with milk but no sugar." This was beyond Fang Sinyu's expectations. I was not angered or questioned by her actions. Instead, I remained completely calm from start to finish, even treating her as just an ordinary waitress. Fang Sinyu was stunned for a moment. The next second, she suddenly said with reddened eyes, "Yin, I know you're meeting your online crush here today. I was wrong not to tell you I work here from the start." The surroundings fell silent. People who had already been drawn to the commotion at our table now turned their gazes toward us. Fang Sinyu's eyes were slightly red, her expression innocent as she said, "But why do you always have to send me away? You don't want me to appear in front of Mr. Lu, do you?" As soon as the words were spoken, whispers immediately arose all around. "What's going on? How did an online romance meetup turn into an argument?" It seems the two girls know each other. The newcomer is trying to drive the waitress away. She doesn't want her to meet the guy. Could it be that she used someone else's photo for the online romance and now feels guilty? Upon hearing these words, a faint, almost imperceptible smile flickered in Fang Sinyu's eyes, but she still wore a look of grievance on her face. Suddenly, a barrage of comments appeared. Can't stand it anymore. Dropping this story, the female lead's character is really poor. Even at this point, she still wants to manipulate others. What do you mean by that? The female lead is just pursuing someone she likes, even if her methods are a bit off. At least she's brave. But that depends on whether it's realistic, right? The female supporting character has slimmed down and looks so good now. What makes her think someone would use her photos for online dating? Sure enough, the next second, someone retorted, "What are you even saying? With her looks, she's prettier without makeup than the other girl is with it. They're not even on the same level. What's the point of using her photo for online dating? To filter out the looks obsessed?" A wave of suppressed laughter rippled through the cafe. I chuckled too. Fang Sinyu's face instantly flushed bright red. "No, I didn't say that. It was clearly her." She glared at me fiercely, her eyes practically wanting to devour me whole. Realizing Lu Qingyu was still nearby, she quickly changed her expression. Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked toward him, but this time, she didn't get to see the moved and pained expression on the other person's face as she had before. Instead, Lu Qingyu was frowning at her, his eyes full of scrutiny, as if he were meeting this person for the first time. Fang Xinyu panicked. She could no longer care about maintaining her persona. She abruptly threw down the tray in her hands and frantically fumbled for her phone. The voice was loud. "No, that's not how it is. She used to be really ugly. She used to be ugly and fat, with thighs as thick as an elephant's." As she spoke, she pulled up a group photo of our dorm from freshman year and showed it to the people around her. That's why she, as she spoke, the people around her gasped in unison. I widened my eyes, wearing a pained expression. "Xinyu, how can you say that? I know I used to be a bit chubby, but does that mean I should be humiliated for it? Even though it's just an act, I seem to have put some real emotion into it." Just seeing the barrage of comments, with every single one calling me fat pig and fatty, still ended up hurting me. Fang Xinyu immediately shot me a fierce glare. She wanted to say something more. Lu Qingyu suddenly stood up and said sharply, "Enough, Fang Xinyu. You look really ugly like this." Fang Xinyu froze. Only then did she realize the cafe was eerily quiet. No one paid attention to the photo in her hand. Everyone was looking at her with strange eyes. Even the barrage comments changed direction. "The female lead is really foolish, saying such things in public." "Sweetie, calm down a bit. Your persona in front of the male lead was that of a stubborn, self-reliant, pure, and kind-hearted innocent flower. I can't stand it anymore. If I were the male lead, I couldn't accept her attitude either." Lu Qingyu also spoke up. "I really don't understand what you're thinking. Are you still trying to lie at this point? Actually, when you first appeared in front of me, you deliberately dressed up to look like the person in that photo, didn't you?" Lu Qingyu frowned, his eyes icy cold. "You've been hinting that Fu Yin used your photos for online dating, but that makes no sense. From the very beginning, I was the one who confessed to her first. Why would she need to deceive me with someone else's photos?" Fang Xinyu froze. What? Lu Qingyu's tone was calm. "To take a step back, even if the photo she sent me at the time wasn't real, what's the problem? The many days I spent with her, getting to know her, weren't fake. I don't care about those things." Fang Xinyu's legs went weak, and she nearly stumbled. Suddenly, she felt an overwhelming sense of injustice, tears streaming down her face uncontrollably. "What about all the time we spent together? Does none of it count for anything?" She cried out hoarsely. "Mr. Lu, don't you remember the first time we met, when you caught me as I almost fell? Later, you said you wanted to make up for bumping into me that day, so you drove to the school gate to pick me up, and I even gave you the scarf I knitted myself. We have so many beautiful memories. Are they all less important than a few chats she had with you online? Clearly you were so good to me, and you liked me too." Lu Qingyu couldn't bear it any longer and interrupted her. "That's because you've been deceiving me from the very beginning. You deliberately dressed up like the person in the photo and claimed to be studying at a university, just to get my attention." Fang Xinyu felt as if her throat had been squeezed. Unable to utter a word, Lu Qingyu let out a final cold laugh. He stood up and looked at me. I'm sorry, today was our first meeting, and it turned out so unpleasant. I smiled. It's all right. After returning, I sent Lu Qingyu a message notifying him of the breakup. Then I decisively deleted and blocked his contact information. In the afternoon after the incident, it seems like many people have dropped the story, as the bullet comments said, and the subtitles have decreased significantly. There were even bullet comments specifically switching to my perspective. Why did the female lead delete the male lead? Exactly, after finally clearing up the misunderstanding and the male lead learning the truth, shouldn't the two of them meet up and have a sweet romance next? What's going on here? Could it be that he's throwing a tantrum? I sneered inwardly. From the very beginning, I never intended to continue with Lu Qingyu. Couldn't he have thought of what he said today in the original plot? It was simply that Fang Xinyu was the prettiest back then, and now, the pretty one has become me. What kind of feelings could there be from so many days of online interaction? It was just a matter of being attracted by looks. Lu Qingyu, however, became completely frantic, calling me from many different phone numbers. I didn't pay any attention. Opening the campus forum, it was indeed in an uproar. The incident at the coffee shop in the afternoon had been posted on the forum. The post spread quickly, and Fang Xinyu's reputation was soon completely ruined. After my two roommates found out, they pulled me aside and chattered on for quite a while. Before, she was already quite strange. She always liked to joke that Heroine looked like a little piglet spirit, and even said things like, girls should lose weight if they weigh over 110 pounds. It was just absurd. I smiled awkwardly. Actually, I was also at fault for using photo editing software back then. My roommate comforted me. Hey, it's fine once things are cleared up. Besides, even if that's the case, she can't accuse you of using her photos for online dating. What kind of narcissist is she? That night, Fang Xinyu didn't return to the dorm. My mood remained completely unperturbed as I went to bed early. Just before falling asleep, I suddenly received a message. It was from Lu Jingchuan. I heard about what happened this afternoon. Are you okay? I curled a smile at the corner of my mouth and replied, yeah, I'm fine. The next day, I went downstairs. Lu Qingyu was waiting downstairs at the dormitory. He seemed to have stayed up all night. His eyes were bloodshot. Seeing me come downstairs, he eagerly reached out to pull me. Heroine, please don't block me, okay? I didn't look at him and said softly, while we were still together, you were frequently seeing another girl. Do you think you did nothing wrong? Lu Qingyu's voice was urgent. I'm sorry, I was deceived by her. Can you forgive me? Seeing that I remained silent, Lu Qingyu stared at me intently. Next Monday is my birthday. I'd like to invite you to come, okay? He gripped my hand tightly. Believe me, I'll explain everything. I misunderstood back then. The one I've always liked is you. It's true, the one I've been in love with has always been you. In the original plot. He never said anything like that, but I still nodded, sure. Upon hearing these words, Lu Qingyu's pupils suddenly lit up, as expected of the second son of the Lu family, the rising star of the capital. Lu Qingyu's birthday banquet was held with great fanfare. I was wearing a dark-colored gown when I walked into the banquet hall. At a glance, I spotted Lu Qingyu surrounded by a crowd of people. He was dressed in an exquisitely tailored suit, which accentuated his tall and slender figure even more. Suddenly, a girl stumbled out from the crowd. It was actually Fang Xinyu. She was crying, her face covered in tears, and she clung to Lu Qingyu's arm, sobbing. She said, you can't treat me like this. You can't toy with my feelings and then so lightly dismiss it as a misunderstanding. This is just bullying. The surroundings fell silent. The guests' varied expressions shifted between the two of them. After a long absence, the barrage of comments reappeared. Oh, this. The female lead still hasn't given up on the male lead. Shouldn't the female lead be someone else now? Looking at how things are going, Fu Yin seems to be the female lead now, and the male lead is into her. Not the comment above. This is a female-oriented genre, right? It's not about the male lead choosing the female lead, but the female lead choosing the male lead, isn't it? What's the difference? The new female lead will definitely choose the male lead, next. It should be about the new female lead putting the supporting female character Fang Xinyu in her place, and then sweetly falling in love with the male lead, right? The next second, Lu Qingyu, who had already shown hesitation, looked up and saw me. He was startled and quickly shook off Fang Sinyu's hand. He opened his mouth and said, "Yin, you're here." With that, he strode toward me, under the gaze of Lu Qingyu, the barrage of comments, and all the guests in the hall. I lifted the hem of my dress and stepped forward, slowly brushing past Lu Qingyu, arriving beside Lu Jingchuan, who was behind the crowd. Lu Qingyu's expression froze. Yin, the barrage was also stunned. Huh, wait, who is this guy? How did the female lead walk over to him? He looks a bit familiar, seems like, Big Brother. What are you doing? Lu Qingyu cried out in shock. Lu Jingchuan looked at his younger brother with a loving gaze. Qingyu, come, let me introduce you. This is the heiress of the Fu group, Miss Fu Yin, also your brother's fiancée. Call her sister-in-law. Lu Qingyu widened his eyes in disbelief. He looked at Lu Jingchuan in confusion, then turned his gaze to me. My lips trembled for a long time. Lu Qingyu only asked one question, why? I held on to Lu Jingchuan's arm and thought for a moment. If you're asking about the Fu family, didn't I already tell you? I don't lack money. I've never worked a day in my life. If it's about the engagement with your brother, well, I smiled. Perhaps it's because your brother was the one who said he liked me even when I hadn't lost weight. In an instant, Lu Qingyu's face drained of all color. Fang Xinyu hid behind Lu Qingyu, looking at me with venomous eyes. She saw Lu Qingyu's appearance and wanted to jump out to say something. However, among the guests, someone recognized her. Hey, isn't she Fang Xinyu from our school? Immediately, a gossipy person asked. Who is she? You don't know the campus belle of a university. Oh, I guess she's the former campus belle now. The female guest laughed. She's quite famous, a bit of an internet celebrity, with over 600,000 followers on Douyin. As she spoke, the female guest gave Fang Xinyu a meaningful once-over, taking in her white dress. But, your look today is quite different from what you show on Douyin, isn't it? Upon hearing this, Lu Jingchuan asked with interest, oh, what is she usually like? Well, every video features a tipsy makeup look either with a deep V-neck or a miniskirt, and she really enjoys dancing, right? Fang Xinyu's face instantly flushed a deep crimson, and she screamed, what nonsense are you talking about? The female guest, however, calmly provided her Douyin account. Upon hearing this, Lu Qingyu took out his phone and searched for it. Fang Xinyu frantically rushed over. Don't believe her, I'm not like that, but it was already too late. Lu Qingyu quickly found her account and clicked into her homepage. After a few seconds, his expression turned completely icy. I watched with great interest. Since Fang Xinyu started imitating the style in my photos, she has indeed stopped wearing her previous style. However, on her social media platforms, there are many videos and photos she took in the past. She probably forgot to delete them. Finally, Lu Qingyu gave me a deep look. He stormed off. Fang Xinyu cried out and followed him. The birthday party ended awkwardly just like that. When leaving, Lu Jingchuan gentlemanly opened the car door for me, making a gesture of, please get in the car, my dear fiancé. His gaze towards me was gentle, filled with affection. It was no different from when we first met at the cafe. The bullet comments also started gossiping. All right, the older brother is also quite good, seems to really like the female lead. However, isn't Lu Qingyu the first love? Why did the female lead suddenly switch to the older brother, and getting married directly is way too fast? Forget it, let's keep watching. Since they're the male and female leads, they must be in love, right? Support. All we need is to indulge in sweet love. My gaze swept over Lu Jingchuan's exposed beautiful collarbone. I smiled silently. Why choose Lu Jingchuan? Perhaps it's because, the way my brother looks in a suit, is he more handsome than my younger brother? I am the only daughter of the Fu family, although, like any ordinary girl, I also feel anxious about my appearance due to external judgments. I can also get carried away and do things like online dating with netizens, but when it comes to major matters, I always keep a clear head. I will not allow myself to become a stepping stone for other success. In marriage, I will also choose what is more beneficial to myself. Lu Jingchuan is more sincere to me than his younger brother. The most important thing is that, compared to his younger brother who ranks second, Lu Jingchuan is the one with more inheritance rights. Entering into a marriage contract with him would be a true alliance of strength for the family I am set to inherit. Thinking of this, a smile appeared on my face. Place your hand in Lu Jingchuan's palm. Sure, in my life, I have always been my own leading lady. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. The first time I met the new neighbor, suddenly, bullet comments appeared before my eyes. Poor female lead, unloved by her parents and brother, abandoned by her husband, and now dying of cancer. Thinking about how she was bullied by classmates during her teenage years, harassed by her boss at work, and blamed by everyone, perhaps death is her only escape. Go ahead, female lead, head to the rooftop and end this unloved life. I stared at the shocking words, then I looked at the girl before me, who was so gloomy and devoid of any sparkle. I pulled her down from the rooftop and immediately called my old friends. Send over a few with sharp tongues. We've got a fight, hurry up. I learned from the barrage comments that the world I'm in is a regret-themed romance novel full of heartbreak, and the girl standing on the rooftop in front of me, about to jump, is the female protagonist of this novel, Su Su. She is innocent, kind-hearted, and driven, but due to various reasons, her life for over 20 years has been shrouded in darkness. She has redeemed herself countless times, yet those bound to her by blood or law have repeatedly pushed her into the abyss. She is left speechless and defenseless. Only through death, the sole path, can one wash away the injustice. But, foolish girl, what could be more important than staying alive? It's just losing an argument, isn't it? We'll help you win it back. Won't that do? As the NPC auntie in this book who only knows how to gossip and chatter, I can't stand to see such injustice. Sweetie, let me tell you, some people are just born to be mean. If you don't scold them a few times, they'll think you're easy to bully. You don't need to worry about how we argue with people. Just know that there's no one we aunties can't handle, whether they're men or women, old or young. Hey, we just sit right there, take off our shoes, clap our hands, and I guarantee those bastards will be trembling in fear. I'll make sure they never dare to bully you again in their lives. Don't worry, arguing doesn't cost a thing. It's just like practicing our voices and exercising. You absolutely shouldn't feel embarrassed. The sisters chattered back and forth, eager to recount every detail of their past battles. We were just afraid Su Su might underestimate us. Of course, we didn't just talk. Our hands were busy too. One is sweeping, mopping, and cleaning. One is busy working hard in the kitchen, and three are gathered around Su Su, already starting a game of mahjong. Su Su holds a hand of tiles, her eyes vacant, faced with our clamoring. She didn't know which card to play when her phone rang. It was from Su Su's brother. As soon as Su Su answered, the sound of scolding from the other end reached our ears. We were startled and immediately asked Su Su to put it on speakerphone. Su Su, you're getting bolder and bolder, even daring to skip work now. The company lost a multi-million-dollar deal because of you. How are you going to make up for it? Su Su's brows furrowed slightly, her previously vacant expression turning into one of gloom. At that moment, I saw a comment on the screen. If the female lead doesn't skip work, she'll be harassed by that old pervert. Clearly, it was Sumo, the malicious supporting character, who couldn't handle the proposal, leading to the loss of the deal. Why should the blame fall on the female lead? In stories about true and false heiresses, it's always our true heiress who gets hurt. I narrowed my eyes. On the phone, she began to vent furiously, because Su Su didn't show up for work. Your company lost a multi-million-dollar deal. Does that mean everyone in your company is useless, and without Su Su, you can't close a deal? Oh my goodness, Su Su is such an incredible talent. I wonder how much you spent to hire her. What, only 3,000 yuan, and no food or accommodation included? That's hilarious. With just one sentence, you want a 3,000 yuan employee to bear millions in losses. If you're that amazing, why don't you go be the president of the United States? Su Su was left speechless by what I said. My brother on the other end of the phone was also stunned. Who are you? I'm looking for Su Su. Put her on the phone. I let out a cold snort. I'm your ancestor. Want to find Su Su first. Kowtow to me a couple of times, if I'm in a good mood. I might just let a bastard like you say a word to Su Su. Su Su, is this how you were raised? Letting someone curse your own brother? I burst into laughter. You have manners. If you had manners, how could you favor a fake sister and deliberately hurt your own flesh and blood? What do you know? Su has been malicious since she was a child, a total green tea bitch. The fact that I'm even willing to acknowledge her as my sister is already a huge favor to her. I spat toward the sky, nearly hitting Su's brother through the phone screen. You're a damn idiot who can't close a single deal and still blames a 3,000 yuan month employee. Even the dumbbells at the gym don't need you to favor them. If you can't close a deal, reflect on your own problems. If you want Su to help you with the proposal, then show some humility instead of acting all high and mighty like you're some big shot. I don't care what your fake sister has told you, please don't call again. From now on, Su doesn't need a brother like you. With that, I finished. I slammed the phone down with a thud, then, I deleted and blocked him in one swift move. My girlfriends were absolutely thrilled and delighted, showering me with praise for being so awesome and amazing, and the female lead, amidst the lively atmosphere, revealed a faint smile. Come on, it's time to eat, put away the mahjong. The sisters who had been busy in the kitchen called out. We quickly cleared the table. Once all the dishes were served, we each took a pair of chopsticks and piled chicken legs, pork ribs, duck wings, and large pig trotters into Su's bowl. Eat up, you've gotten so thin, you need to nourish yourself more. Only when you eat well will you have the strength to fight off illness. I'll go with you to the hospital tomorrow. At such a young age, what serious illness could you possibly have? I've had breast cancer for 30 years. And I'm still living just fine. Finished eating. Let's go do square dancing together. I'm telling you, cancer is most afraid of you being in a good mood, sweetie. From now on, just follow your aunties and you'll be happy and carefree. Su ate the food in her bowl. Her eyes reddened again and again. I know, she lacks love. Perfect. We, the old sisters, have plenty of love to spare. We can fill that void of love for her anytime, anywhere. The next day, I went to the hospital with Aunt Lu, taking Su along, just as the bullet comments had said. Su was diagnosed with terminal cancer. After surgical removal of the lesion, chemotherapy and radiation therapy are required. The fight against cancer will last a very, very long time. I asked the doctor how much longer Su had to live. The doctor said, as long as she receives proper treatment and makes it through this year, she will have overcome a major hurdle. Living another 10 or 20 years won't be a problem. Hearing this, my heart leaped with joy. And I immediately pulled Su to go pay the fees, get admitted, and have the surgery. But Su hesitated again. I don't have the money, so let's just forget it. The future treatments will cost too much. At that moment, the barrage comments popped up. The female lead's parents are very wealthy. Her brother is very wealthy, and her husband is also very wealthy, but she herself has no money. It's not that the female lead never considered asking them for money to treat her illness. But these people have such deep misunderstandings about her that they simply don't care whether she lives or dies. Sigh. I pondered for a moment. Then, I asked Aunt Lu to help me gather some people. Aunt Lu asked, what are you gathering people for? To rob a bank. I waved my hand grandly. We're going to demand money. Su hesitated again and again. In the end, she was persuaded by us and we headed straight for the Su family's front door. As soon as we entered the door, Aunt Lu and Sister Zhang lay down on the ground, took off their shoes, making it clear that if they didn't get the money, they wouldn't leave. Aunt Song and Aunt Li sat on the small stools they had brought with them, and even took out sunflower seeds, peanuts, and drinks from their bags. Sitting in the front row, I, along with two other aunts who were more skilled with words, stayed by Su's side, ready to face the people we were going to argue with today. Su's parents, plus a nanny and a driver. Upon hearing that we had come to ask for money, Su's mother's dark, gloomy face immediately took on a hint of mockery. She then had the nanny bring over 2,000 yuan and gave each of us a few hundred as a dismissal. We felt humiliated. I also sensed the embarrassment on Su's face beside me. Without hesitation, we threw the 2,000 yuan out. Su's mother then sneered coldly, Su, where did you find these beggars? They have such big appetites. Not even caring for a few hundred yuan, Auntie and the others aren't here to beg. Before Su could finish her words, I patted her hand. Under the exchange of glances, I reassured her. Then, hand in hand with my old sister, we entered battle mode. Ahem, I cleared my throat first, then I placed my hands on my hips. I lifted my chin, took a deep breath, and began to speak. We're not here today to beg for scraps. We're here to demand fairness for Su Su. We've learned that Su Su has worked at the Su family company for 5 years without ever being made a permanent employee. When she asked HR about it, they said the chairman wouldn't approve it. When she tried to resign, again, the chairman wouldn't approve it. After 5 years of work, her salary has remained at just 3,000 yuan. Meanwhile, your other fake daughter, who just graduated and joined the company only 3 months ago, has already risen from an intern to the position of chairman's assistant, with a monthly salary of 50,000 yuan. I ask you, why? Is it because you're biased, or are you deliberately targeting Su Su, your own biological daughter? Su's father frowned and replied matter-of-factly, neither, of course. It's because Su Su's work performance is inferior to Su Mo's. In 5 years, she's made repeated mistakes. Allowing her to stay and continue working at the company is already a sign of my favoritism toward her. I then took out the documents Su Su had prepared in advance and handed them to Su's father and mother. Then I must ask both of you to take a good look at what's inside. Mother Su's expression changed. I explained, these are the proposals and project plans Su Su has worked on over the past 5 years. During these 5 years, your son, Su Qingming, has been slacking off, while Su Su has been working tirelessly, securing one deal after another. However, the commissions for all these deals have been taken by Su Qingming and later by Su Mo. Father Su was shocked and immediately denied it. Impossible. Su's mother also gritted her teeth. Su Su, you're so desperate for money that you'd even tell such lies. How could Qingming and Mo possibly do something like this? Listening to her parents' words, Su Su could only smile bitterly in resignation. Indeed, under the weight of favoritism and prejudice, no matter how Su Su resisted, she would only end up hurting herself. But fortunately, today, we are here, whether it's possible or not. We came today for 2 things. First, to get the commissions that Su Su should have received over the years, and second, to issue a resignation certificate, no matter where Su Su goes to find a job. You must not stab her in the back when the other company conducts a background check. Su's father tried to argue, we are not that despicable and shameless, stabbing her in the back. I then played the recording of Su Su's job application being rejected. I'm sorry, Miss Su Su, but you cannot be hired because your background check did not pass. Sorry, you have been blacklisted from the industry. Sorry, our company does not work with individuals who have a problematic history. Faced with this evidence, Su's parents were left speechless. I continued with verbal attacks. Su Su returned to the Su family at the age of 10. Apart from the first 2 years, you only gave her 800 yuan per month for living expenses and never gave her another penny. She had to rely on her own hard work and part-time jobs to get into a prestigious university. In contrast, Su Mo, who is academically weak, not only receives at least 20,000 yuan in pocket money every month, but you've also bought her countless clothes, bags, and shoes. Of course, Su Su can't change the fact that her parents are biased. You can favor Su Mo all you want, but for the past 5 years, the wages and commissions that should have been given to Su Su, don't even think about withholding them. Otherwise, don't blame us for taking this to labor arbitration court. Su's mother also lost her composure. Are you even a member of the Su family? Hanging out with these old-timers and now you want to sue your own parents in court. After saying that, she grabbed a glass of water and splashed it at Su Su. I picked up a cushion and blocked it. Aunt Lu, quick as lightning, without a word, threw the melon seed shells in her hand right into Mrs. Su's face. Sister Zhang reacted swiftly, simply grabbing the teapot and splashing its contents toward Mrs. Su. The rest of us old aunties were even less polite. Who are you calling an old thing? You're withholding wages and commissions, and you still have the nerve to talk. I know you favor your son and your fake daughter, but at least try to be a decent person and don't be so heartless. Mother Su trembled with rage. Father Su shielded his wife, his eyes wide with anger. What kind of uncivilized people are these, causing a scene in someone else's home? Someone, throw them all out. Su's father was right. We are indeed a bunch of people who love to throw tantrums and roll around. So, when the Su family security guards came in to throw us out, Aunt Lu clung to Su's mother. Sister-in-law Zhang jumped onto Father Su's back. Auntie Song hid under the coffee table. Auntie Li, not to be outdone, climbed to the second floor, threatening to end it all. Seizing the opportunity, I took out my phone and started a live stream. Come and see, this is the wealthy Sue family. Each one of them is a shameless scoundrel. A lecherous old pervert, who would even lay hands on us aunties. Oh no. Oh no, my innocence is in jeopardy. The old man from the Sue family has taken a liking to me. If I don't accept his confession, he's going to force himself on me. Help, I'm a single, untouched young woman who's been alone for years. I'm about to be violated. That old woman from the Sue family is really something. She can't control her own husband, yet she accuses me of seducing their old man. Everyone, come and judge for yourselves. If a man can't control his own urges, how is it my fault? The three of us, with our sharp tongues, immediately resorted to slander and false accusations. Who cares if it's reasonable or not? If this blows up, the only ones who'll be embarrassed are the Sue family. They are respectable people. We are not. You're all crazy, absolutely crazy, Mr. Sue's face flushed red with anger. Mrs. Sue couldn't bear this unreasonable attack either. Call the police. Call them right now. I want to send all these scoundrels to jail. But we were at that age where even dogs would avoid us, not to mention that Mr. and Mrs. Sue were afraid. Even the police, upon seeing us, would feel the need to call for backup. So, when Aunt Lou lay down in front of the police car pretending to be dead, Sister Zhang sat on the roof of the police car cracking sunflower seeds, and Aunt Li hugged the most handsome police officer asking for a kiss. Sue's father and mother finally gave up the struggle. Fine, 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 you're all crazy women. I can't win against you. All right, how much money do you want? Tell me, I'll give it to you. Don't ever show up at the Sue family again. Hearing these words, I leisurely picked up the bra I had just thrown into the kitchen and confidently put it on over my clothes. Then, I had Sue use a calculator to work out an account. Over the past 5 years, Sue has signed various contracts at Sue Group, totaling approximately 200 million, as the most junior sales employee. It's clearly stated in the contract that the commission is 1% of the signed amount, which comes to 2 million. We won't take a penny more than what we deserve. Just give us what Sue is rightfully owed. 2 million is nothing more than pocket change for a wealthy family like the Sue family, with Mr. and Mrs. Sue being such prominent figures. Who knows if continuing to make a scene might affect the company's stock price. So, without hesitation, Mr. Sue immediately signed the check. Only after I got the money did I let my sisters stop their dramatic tantrums. Sue, consider these 2 million as the end of our blood ties. From now on, whether you live or die, don't ever drag the Sue family into it. Sue's father was still spouting harsh words. I stepped forward and slapped him across the face. Who the hell wants to be related to you by blood? The moment Sue was born, you abandoned her. When she was found and brought back, you refused to spend a single penny on her, and instead exploited her relentlessly, making her your nanny, servant, and slave. Having a father like you is the worst luck Sue could have had in 8 lifetimes. Who the hell would want that? Also, send Sue's resignation certificate within 2 days, otherwise, I'll bring people to cause a scene at your company. Let's see who can make the bigger fuss. If you have the guts, just kill me. Of course, even if I die, I'll haunt my old sisters in their dreams, tormenting you and dragging you down. Sue's father was left stunned by the beating, while Sue's mother trembled with rage. You, get out of here. Aunt Lou snorted coldly and pulled out a bright red sanitary pad from her crotch. With a splat, she threw it onto Mother Sue's face. This move shocked everyone present, of course. That included us few old-timers. They were shocked by Aunt Lou's bold movements, while we were shocked that Aunt Lou hadn't even gone through menopause yet. 2 million was withdrawn. We took Sue and immediately went through the hospitalization procedures. Hospital beds are in high demand. It takes at least a day to get admitted. After leaving the hospital, Sue insisted on treating us. She took us to get manicures, have our hair done, go shopping for clothes, and enjoy the finest buffet. We didn't hold back either, watching her buy group coupons and off-peak package deals. The main idea is to save where you can and spend where you want, like riding a bike to a bar. These nails look so pretty. It's the first time I've ever been this vain. Auntie Lou kept happily staring at her nails. My hair turned out so well. High-end salons really do give better perms than street-side curling irons. Aunt Song kept looking in the mirror, beaming with joy, until Su Su appeared before us with a completely bald head. We were stunned, staring in disbelief. She, on the other hand, scratched her head sheepishly. Did I scare you? I thought since I'll be starting chemotherapy and radiation soon, my hair won't last anyway, so I just shaved it off. It's actually quite cool. She didn't finish her sentence. Sister-in-law Zhang had already rushed over to hug her. We embraced Su Su in our arms. One after another. It's nothing, just a small matter, in this life. One can live however they want. Just being alive is enough. Live happily, and be joyful for each day that comes. Let's go buy wigs, so we can change our hairstyles whenever we want. Su Su had been holding back her tears all along. At this moment, she simply couldn't hold it in any longer. Large, bean-sized tears began to fall, streaming down her face. Unlike the grievances, hardships, and sorrows of the past, the tears at this moment are moved. They are happiness. They are joy. As the female lead, Su Su embodies an indomitable spirit deep in her bones. During her school days, she studied hard and strived to be the best. When in love, she gave her all, wishing she could lay her heart bare for the other to see. When at work, she gave her utmost, determined to fight against injustice. But no matter how hard she tried, how optimistic she was, or how strong she remained, it couldn't change the fact that this was a regret-filled romance novel, where her admirable qualities would only be recognized by those who had hurt her after her death. But what is worth proving with death? No person or thing is worth proving with death. Coming out of the mall, we were all completely transformed, wearing the trendiest dresses, sporting the most flamboyant hairstyles, and stepping in sky-high heels. The fashionable sisters stormed into the most upscale buffet restaurant, ready to conquer it all. Since we hadn't been here before and had no experience, we older sisters ended up making quite a few amusing blunders. Su Su said, "It's all right, sisters, just do whatever makes you happy." Auntie Lu wanted to put on the airs of a wealthy lady, deliberately adopting a refined tone and showing off with the fork and knife in her hands. Sister Zhang, afraid of not getting her money's worth from this meal, piled the table with whatever was expensive: king crab, caviar, Australian lobster, Boston lobster, you name it. Aunt Song isn't picky about food. She eats whatever is on the table, fully embracing the clean plate campaign. Just as we were thoroughly enjoying our meal, the male lead arrived with the female supporting character. He's here, he's here. He's come with the malicious female supporting character to stir up trouble. Clearly, it was the female lead who originally funded the male lead, and it was also the female lead who donated bone marrow to save him. Yet the male lead blindly believes the female supporting character's words and credits all the achievements to her. It's infuriating. Just a little misunderstanding, and the male lead ends up hurting the female lead so much. His love is truly not worth showing off. Looking at the information revealed in the bullet comments, I roughly grasped the tangled love-hate relationship between the male lead, Fu Tingxiu, and Su Su. Love is love. Trust is not trust, but without even the most basic trust, what is there to talk about love? Sister, you've really gone a bit too far this time. Come home tonight, and I'll put in a good word with Mom, Dad, and our brother so they won't blame you. Su Mo, upon seeing Su Su, immediately put on a show of playing the innocent victim. Fu Tingxiu, standing beside her, wore a haughty expression and didn't even spare Su Su a glance. As we ate our meal, we watched the drama unfold, already sensing that things were about to get physical or verbal. But Su Su gave us a reassuring look, signaling for us to leave everything to her. She smiled slightly, turning to Su Mo. What's there to go home for? That home has no place for me at all, so don't bother pretending to be kind. Su Mo looked disappointed and helpless, taking Su Su's hand. Sister, are you still blaming me for taking your parents' love? If you insist on this, I'll leave and let you have it, okay? Su Su shook off Su Mo's hand. You can go wherever you want to leave. Even if you die, I won't feel a thing. You'd better not put on an act in front of me. It's really disgusting. I'm eating right now, and I feel like throwing up everything from last night. Oh my. After 2 days of our influence, Su Su, with her gentle rabbit-like nature, has also started to bite. Su Mo's face turned pale, on the verge of tears, when Fu Tingxiu stepped forward. Su Su, don't push your luck when you're given a chance. Su Su stood up and slapped Fu Tingxiu across the face. Who asked you to give me face? Who do you think you are? A trash who's addicted to cheating, tangled up with your sister-in-law, and still dragging me along without a divorce, dreaming of having two women serve one husband. Take a look around. This is a society governed by law, not your fantasy of being an emperor. Fu Tingxiu was so angry his entire body stiffened. You think everyone is as filthy-minded as you are, filthy-minded. That's hilarious, with your legal wife right in front of you. You're still holding your sister-in-law. Who knows if you two just rolled out of bed together. Su Su snorted coldly and immediately took out a divorce agreement from her bag. Divorce, sign it right now, otherwise, I'll go live every day and let everyone know that you, Fu Tingxiu, are nothing but a fickle, promiscuous scumbag. Su Mo still wanted to pretend to persuade Su Su not to act impulsively. Su Su casually splashed the red wine from the table all over Su Mo's face. And you home-wrecking mistress, you're so desperate to climb the social ladder, yet you still put on an act here. Even back in school, you loved to flirt around, and now as an adult, you cling to your brother-in-law every day. If you dare say one more word, I'll broadcast the story of your underage abortion to everyone, piece by piece. Su Mo's face turned pale. Sister, you're insane. Su Su narrowed her eyes. If I don't go crazy now, I'll be driven to death by the two of you. Fu Tingxiu gritted his teeth, wishing he could reach out and strangle Su Su. But with us here, how could Fu Tingxiu possibly succeed? Aunt Song took off her shoes and refused to back down. Sister Zhang pulled out her bra, ready to fight. Aunt Lu, taking advantage of the chaos, once again produced a fully soaked sanitary pad, almost shoving it right into Su Mo's mouth. Fu Tingxiu and Su Mo had naturally heard about our prowess and didn't dare to act recklessly. Brother Tingxiu, let's go. If we can't afford to provoke these aunties, we can at least avoid them. Su Mo pulled Fu Tingxiu to leave. I shouted from behind again, you've already left with the mistress, so come over and sign the divorce agreement. I see how pitiful it is for the mistress to follow you without any status. Do you really have the heart to let her be a concubine? Or is it that you still have Su Su in your heart and can't bear to divorce? What a shame, someone like you isn't even worth a glance from our Su Su. After leaving the restaurant, we couldn't stop laughing. Su Su said frankly, if it weren't for you sisters backing me up, I might never have been able to say those things in my whole life. Really, thank you, sisters. As she spoke, she even tried to bow to us. We quickly helped her up, and gave her a reassurance. From now on, we will be your support, that's all. Aunt Lu, holding Su Su's divorce agreement, asked if she had made up her mind to divorce. Su Su nodded firmly. Before, it was Fu Tingxiu who wanted a divorce, and I kept begging him to reconcile. But now I think it's pointless. Instead of clinging to a man, I should focus on how to make myself happy. Divorce is definitely the way to go. Aunt Lu's eyes darted around before she tucked Su Su's divorce agreement into her bag. My son is a lawyer, specializing in divorce cases. I've seen quite a few divorce agreements, big and small, and yours isn't quite up to par. I'll have my son draft a new one for you later, aiming to secure the maximum financial compensation for you. Su Su, being a simple person, felt that Fu Tingxiu's money had nothing to do with her and didn't want to force the issue, but we had to think for her. You're sick now, and there's a lot to deal with in the future. If you don't get some money in hand, how can you enjoy the rest of your life? Listen to your sisters. Su Su nodded firmly. Just as we stepped out of the mall, I received a call from the hospital. Ms. Su, a bed has become available. You can go through the admission procedures tonight, and the surgery can be scheduled for tomorrow morning. We accompanied Su Su to the hospital, completed the admission procedures, and inquired with the doctor about the various risks involved. Su Su was a bit nervous, but she wasn't afraid. She felt she could get through this ordeal. The next day, I and Aunt Song waited outside the operating room. After 3 hours of treatment, Su Su returned to the hospital room. Sweetie, if you're hurting anywhere or feeling uncomfortable, just say the word, and I'll press the pain pump for you. The doctor said you need to replenish more protein right after surgery. This stewed old hen meat might seem bland, but it's packed with nutrients. You should have some later. If you need to pee, just let me know, and I'll get you the bedpan. We're all women here, no need to feel embarrassed. We were all talking at once. The doctor thought we were too noisy, In the end, I was the only one left to stay and care for him. The others would come to visit during the day. It's just that for several days in a row, Aunt Lu, Sister Zhang, and the others haven't come by again. Only Aunt Song has been making sure we don't miss any of our 3 meals a day. Just as I was wondering what these retired aunties have been so busy with, Aunt Lu sent us the good news. Signed, the divorce agreement is signed. As soon as Su Su is discharged from the hospital, we can go get the divorce certificate. Su Su and I were shocked. We immediately wanted to know the whole story. Aunt Lu vividly recounted the entire sequence of events. I had my son redo that divorce agreement. Given Su Su's situation, she could get at least 20 million, so I took the agreement and went to find Fu Tingxiu. Of course, this Fu Tingxiu is a CEO, powerful and influential. He wouldn't even see us, so we decided to go all the way. We gathered the old men and women from our square dancing group and just sat right at the entrance of Fu Tingxiu's company. Everyone put up banners, banged gongs, and beat drums. A few old men, who were even internet celebrities, helped us live stream to boost the popularity. Fu Tingxiu was particularly tough, calling the police to stir up trouble, trying to drive us away. A few old men got worked up, took off all their clothes, and went streaking down the street, running everywhere. We also got angry. How could a divorce be so difficult to handle? So we went to the Su group next door to find Su Mo. Taking advantage of the moment when no one was paying attention, I plopped right down on Su Mo, grabbed the loudspeaker, and shouted loudly, telling everyone that she was a mistress. Didn't Su Su have a lot of provocative photos and messages sent by Su Mo on her phone before? I enlarged and printed them all out. I handed them out to everyone at the Su group. You probably haven't checked your phones. They're flooded with the trending topics we've been causing these past few days. Fu Tingxiu had no choice. Under all that pressure, he could only sign the divorce agreement. Su Su looked at the divorce agreement, her eyes reddening again and again. I quickly helped her wipe away her tears. Don't cry. It's not good for your health. They say cancer is most afraid of you being in a good mood. She sniffled. I'm just so happy. I'm crying tears of joy. After being discharged from the hospital, Su Su underwent another period of chemotherapy and radiation therapy. Once the divorce cooling off period was over, Su Su didn't care at all that her body was still weak. Heading straight for the Civil Affairs Bureau, once the divorce certificate was in hand, Su Su felt like spinning in place with joy. Fu Tingxiu thought she had gone mad, trying to attract his attention through such an unconventional act. Even if you regret it now, it's useless. I can't remarry you. Su Su found these words baffling. She couldn't be bothered to respond to him. She walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Su Mo was waiting at the door for Fu Tingxiu. Brother Tingxiu, now that everything is settled, let's go celebrate. Congratulations on ending this unhappy marriage. Not to be outdone, Aunt Lu and I raised our voices as soon as we picked up Su Su, shouting, Su Su, to celebrate you leaving that scumbag and regaining your single status. Let's go to the bar tonight and have a wild time with a few 188cm male models. Su Su burst into laughter, grinning from ear to ear. Fu Tingxiu glanced at us with displeasure and deliberately said to Su Mo, people with no class have such shallow ways of entertainment. The few of us, hearing his sarcastic remarks, didn't hold back at all. That's right, you have class. If you have class, hurry up and transfer those 20 million. People with class don't flirt around. Eyeing what's in the bowl while looking at what's in the pot. Look, she just got divorced, and some mistress is already eager to marry him. Fu Tingxiu and Su Mo knew they couldn't win the argument with us, so they could only shoot a few disdainful glances our way. A few disdainful glances didn't hurt or itch, so we couldn't be bothered to argue with those two scoundrels. Ever since Su Su got divorced, during the day, join us for square dancing. At night, come with us for a renzuan. In the morning, a round of mahjong. In the afternoon, hot pot and spicy hot pot. Occasionally, we'd gossip together and chat about the latest rumors. Munching on sunflower seeds, we'd dissect even a dog passing by on the street, leaving no stone unturned. Did you know, in Chunhua Garden, an old man got involved with a kindergarten teacher. Now, the old man is dead set on divorcing his wife, insisting he must be with the kindergarten teacher. That kindergarten teacher is no good either. She used to work in nightclubs in the big city and is an expert at seduction. In the end, it's the little grandson who's the most pitiful. He might not even be able to go to school anymore. At first, Su only listened. Later, she also began to speak. What are you talking about? Just gossiping about my own family. My brother may seem all proper and serious, but he's actually pretty useless. Several girlfriends have dumped him, all thinking he's, well, not up to par in that department. My fake sister didn't study well even when she was in school. She used to hang out with some punk all the time, going to little woods and cheap motels. She got pregnant and even asked me to lend her money to go to the hospital and deal with it. Actually, my mom is having an affair too, but my dad doesn't know. The young guy she's keeping outside is even better looking than Fu Tingxiu. If it weren't for my dad's money, my mom would probably have run off a long time ago. And then there's Fu Tingxiu. He has so many quirks. No lights on, no making a sound, blah blah blah. I'm so annoyed with him. If it weren't for his good looks back then, who would have married him? We pricked up our ears to listen. The gossip in wealthy families is much juicier than the rumors in small workshops. Let me tell you, the reason my dad likes the fake heiress so much is because he had a fling with her. Bet you didn't see that coming, right? And my mom. That pretty boy was introduced by the fake heiress. TSK, it's a real mess. And then there's our boss, that sleazy one who's harassed quite a few female colleagues. Everyone was angry but too afraid to speak up. Recently, the company updated the surveillance system and sent all the old perverts' glorious history straight to the police station. He's probably looking at 8 to 10 years in prison. We listened with great interest. It spread from 1 to 10, and from 10 to 100. Whenever Su opened her mouth, the small square would be packed with at least 10 layers of people. Auntie Lu spotted a business opportunity, selling small stools, drinks, sunflower seeds, and even made a tidy profit. One day, the scandalous photos and videos of the fake heiress, Su Mo, went viral online. As we scrolled through the trending topics, we listened to Su talk about her sister's past bold actions. Su's parents and brother suddenly arrived. They looked at Su with reddened eyes. Their faces filled with pity. Su was at a loss, until they spoke. Su, we misunderstood you all those years. Come home. From now on, you are the only young lady of the Su family. Su's brother was the first to speak. Su's mother also sighed softly. No matter what, you are our daughter. We can't just leave you alone outside. Su's father spoke sincerely. We didn't know you were sick. If we had known, we would never have let you suffer so much. Su, please forgive your father. Faced with this sudden concern, Su was very calm. She smiled slightly. I never blamed you for anything, so there's no need for me to forgive anything. Let's just leave it at that. It's good for each of us to find our own peace. She had already seen through these people. After that, no matter what they said, Su avoided them and refused to meet. Moreover, with our presence, the Su family wouldn't dare to do anything to Su, right? There's also the repentant scumbag, Fu Tingxiu. As those truths gradually came to light, he finally realized just how far off the mark he had been. He stood outside Su's door night after night, just hoping for a chance for her to forgive him. Little did he know that during all those days and nights, Su had joined us on a senior tour and traveled around the world. Meanwhile, the scumbag, consumed by guilt and regret night after night, suddenly fell ill and needed a bone marrow match. It was only then that he discovered the person who had once saved his life was Su, not Su Mo. Don't you want to see how the scumbag regrets his actions? I asked Su. Su held a 2-dot tile and shouted, Mahjong. The sound of Mahjong tiles echoed throughout the train compartment. Su said with a grin, no matter how much a scumbag repents, it doesn't change the fact that he's trash. Don't disgust me. I chuckled and said, exactly, who hasn't loved a few scumbags in their youth? Changing the subject, Su looked at me mysteriously. Sis, tell us about your romantic experiences. I was taken aback and quickly declined. All right, your mouth is even more gossipy than ours. Okay, you've lost again. Here's your money, less gossip, more playing cards, laughter, and joy filled the journey. We are living in the moment. After hearing the 2 stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.